was I? I was talking about...
Oh, you're talking about magic? You're talking about the box?
Yeah. Oh, my favorite thing was I liked realism. I liked stuff for real. Just like I didn't like abstract art. You know, painting a black field with a white field, or putting a blue orb on a white field, or blah, 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 blah. This kind of stuff I can do too, you know. That's not art. That's painting. I used to be a house painter. Colorblind guy doing house painting. I was told everybody, and my mother was the boss of the interior decorating company I worked for, 25 cents an hour. 1963, 4, 5. Like I worked since I worked all my life because I was on a farm in a rural community. But otherwise, in the summer times and so on, I worked on construction. I learned everything from carpentry, working for my Russian uncle, carpenter. My father was a stonemason, so I learned how to do fireplaces, stone walls, bricks, blocks. And then my mother was an interior decorator, so painting and wallpapering.
So you know what I'm going to ask? If you were colorblind, did you have to have someone tell you what the color was?
No, I had a trick for them. I said, listen, and I painted a house. Every room was the wrong color. Once. And after that, I said to them, look, in the future, put the can, you want this room that color? Don't give me the green off-white over here, or the yellow or beige off-white or something like that. Put that can in this room, and I'll paint that room with that can. And that's how it went. The rest is white.
Mm-hmm. That was the way to do it.
And anyways, talking about for real, I enjoyed doing stuff for real on the camera. How to trick because the magician thing gave me that feeling of the thrill of fooling, but giving it in an honest, beautiful way, you know, like making it something wonderful. And sometimes I remember even I was making sculptures when I worked on TV shows. I was a fast worker. I ran a shop with 25 people to War of the Worlds, Friday 13th, and My Secret Identity, all at the same time, coordinating them all. So I had 6 scripts in my head. The next one, and the one we're shooting right now on this show, the next one shooting on each show, and people would run up to me and say, here, what do I do now at this point? You know, how do you want me to do it? So I had to be clever and think of things, and sometimes it was just, instead of telling somebody, it was easier for me. I knew exactly there was not a wasted movement of my body, and I would have that exact thing there in an hour. I would have a silicone that cures in 6 minutes. I could cast something in 12 minutes. So I could reproduce something for you, have it painted, depending on the paints, within an hour or something like that. Because you're working on film live. Yeah. Sometimes it's in the morning, the director dreams something up and you have to have something for the 2 o'clock shot.
Did you always have that sense of finish back then? Because obviously VHS and quality of TV was a different grade than today. Have you always made stuff to be like
I made it
photo?
For the eye.
Yeah.
I didn't make it for the camera. I made it for the eye. How I see it is how it is. That's why I keep a lot of things around me, like textures. Like I have rusting steel pieces lying around. I like to see this kind of steel, that kind of environment. Stone or marble. Marble washes away different, stone different. All the different plasters we use. That's why I have so many plaster pieces up against the wall. They all used to be up here. Because I had like a garden here. I used to have a fence around and it was all decked in, 5,000 square feet here. Mm-hmm. With this, it was like I was in natural heaven here. And I had to replace the roof though. That was the problem. I built it on a shitty roof. So now I've spent $150,000 to redo the roof. It's good for 30 years. Now I can start building up again. But now I'm wondering, do I want to do something different? Anyways, back to materials. I like to see how stuff ages. Plastic. What does plastic left outside look like after a while? What does a paint job look like, you know? So when they say age this, I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm looking for that kind of look. And I like that. I like always bringing something, making something, polishing it beautifully like that. There are no scratches on it, nothing. And then you go at it with a hammer or something.
But isn't there a perception of age in someone's head versus the reality of how something ages? Yeah.
Many people overdo it, but sometimes you have to trick the camera and exaggerate a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like the difference between making a mask in a film and a mask on theater. The mask on the theater, if I'm making it for a stage, I would make it 15% bigger than the mask I would make for a film. The reason why is in theater you project much more off the stage to the audience. In film, they can be right in your eyeball with the lens, you know?
Yeah, very
It's
true.
not that, so you want to make it as realistic. I was lucky because I was often working for special effects, visual effects companies. So early on, even in the 80s and 90s, where we were scratching lightning on film, it was the CG now. And how to do tricks in film, you know, not only just the camera, but how to trick the film out. And so I got to learn a lot of that. Did a lot of commercials, a lot of TV early on, and then later more film. We had a longer period where Toronto became more focused on film for 10, 15 years. Now it's all gone to series again.
Yeah.
But we also realized we don't have enough studio spaces. We could do lots more. But it's amazing. We have a lot of very good technical people, like from camera to lighting to gripping, you know, there's so many talented people here. And the unions aren't that bad. You know, they're really, it's okay. They bothered me and I learned how to work around them. And I was always respectful of them, which I still am. And they're respectful to me, you know, like we treat each other as equals. And I've never had hassles on the film set, even though I wasn't in the union. The Teamsters would have stopped anybody else but me or any of my people. And today still we walk on set, we're never hassled. We get through any gate onto a set, you know, like nobody gives us trouble. And that's been really good. Now a distraction again from reality and film. I love the real. I like to make it as good as that my eyeball's convinced. Then I believe the camera will be, or anybody filming it, will be convinced. And so it has to be to that quality.
Sure.
And I like stuff that isn't just, in the past, yes, we had to use a lot of hot glue and glue bits and pieces together quickly, you know, and that's what it looks like afterwards.
Yeah.
A bunch of metal pieces you found at a junkyard and you hot glued them together and there's your sci-fi weapon of the week.
But now, of course, those movies and TV shows have been up-converted to HD, and you can see them, and they don't look so hot today.
So Flash Gordon isn't so hot compared to Star Trek.
Yeah. I got a lot of time for Flash Gordon, but some of that stuff looks bad now.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I always put in perspective, you know, they'd use a lot of paper mache for a while to make stuff, you know. They didn't have the chemicals we had today. And today we get the chemicals easily down the street, you know. You can buy all this kind of rubber molding, that kind, this kind of silicone, that kind of whatever, these exotic coatings and so on. We didn't have them. We had to invent some of those ourselves, like Gord did. He invented all these fast silicone cures, skin materials. 9-10 minutes for a silicone, you know, where in the past I remember doing a mold for a Cronenberg movie, and it was this black rubber, like what we use today, that every time kicks within 3 to 4 minutes. I'm 2 hours later, I'm scooping it off the table, the floor, trying to pour it back the top, because all we had, so I had to keep, and it still isn't kicking. Fucking thing, what can we do about it? Keep doing it until it's getting a little thicker. Keep doing it, you know? It's like horror. And today we have and then we have 3D printers. Before I had a hand drill. I was so excited when I got rid of the cable this was on Captain Power and the Soldiers of the Future. I even got to go down to LA to their headquarters on Hollywood Boulevard there. That was, what was the company, the toy company that paid for this? And they were paying $2 million an episode, which nobody else heard of in episode stuff at that time.
Was it Mattel?
Yes, Mattel. Exactly. And, okay, so I was so excited when I had my cordless drill, first cordless Makita drills, you know, the bigger 9-volt ones. Oh, what a thrill, because we were building the Lord Dread, the airport mule, the tank. And two of us, Sean and I, and we had the extension cables coming in, and we were working, screwing panels down, needing drill to screw to do this and that. And every half hour, it's like timeout. We got to untangle the electric cords now, you know, and so it took like a few minutes, untangle, straighten the cords, let's start over again. And then there were the cordless drills, and they just made life so much easier. Couldn't buy enough of them.
You bought them out.
Well, and those were the only things we had before 3D printers, you know, primitive tools. A primitive small Busy Bee milling machine I had the fucking defect. Sorry if we're on the air here somewhere. But,
no, delete that.
X and Y, and if you turn the longitudinal, the Y shaft, at a certain point you're milling away, nice line, clean line, all of a sudden it jumps over, and you just fucking ruin the whole piece.
Yeah, you ruined it.
And it's the middle of the night and you need it tomorrow morning, you know, and it's like, you could cry you don't have the right tools. Now,